The market that we're in today is totally different than the market that most of us grew up with. The market I grew up with, if you liked the stock at 10, you liked it more at 9, and even more at 8, and you had a guard against occasionally being those things that are really going down for very good reasons and not going to come back too quickly. The market we're in today, dominated by these machines, they like something at 10, they like it more at 11, like it more at 12, and at 11 and 10 and 9, they're selling. And so what it really means to me, and I tell my team this constantly, you must know your company is better than anybody else, so you don't get shaken out, that you maintain your conviction. And the thing that keeps me coming back to the game every day, okay, for 50 plus years, is in November I owned 5 million shares of Time Inc. It was actively trading at 10. 9 days later, Meredith bought it for $18.50 cash. So when they tell me about efficiency, sure, the large cap stocks are reasonably efficiently valued, but there are so many things in the market that are not efficiently valued. And this is what we come to work for every day, to look for and find, and to make ourselves feel good about ourselves.
You told me you're still out there looking, too.
Absolutely.
Listening to ideas several nights a week.
Yeah, I would say pretty much every night of the week. I date my wife for 54 years on the weekend. We have a great relationship, but Monday to Friday, 4 o'clock, I'm engaged.
I want to move and talk about this open letter that you've written, and it sort of stems from what I think is fair to say the most painful experience of your 50-plus year career on Wall Street. I know you are a tremendous patriot. You're wearing a tie that I think makes a statement in and of itself of the American flags on it, but you do take issue squarely with the way that regulators and the SEC handled your case, in which you settled after being accused of insider trading.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. Aristotle said tolerance and apathy are the last virtues of a society. So I'm sitting here not with any attempt to change anything that happened to me, but to try and improve upon the system. We agreed to what's called a no admit, no deny agreement. I can't contest the government's assertions, and nor do I accept them as being accurate. I can only say if you look at the outcome, basically, no officer of the firm was suspended. The fine was less than half of what they asked for, and there was no timeout or anything like that. The process is all screwed up. It's all wrong. And in fact, in my humble opinion, the acting director of the SEC violated our agreement the first day. When the Wall Street Journal ran a story about the settlement, she said the fine was based upon our misdeeds. And whenever she went to college or law school, she didn't learn the word alleged. There was nothing, we didn't agree to anything. We didn't agree to do anything wrong. And if I spent time on the case in detail, we could spend the entire show there, and I don't want to do that to you, and you're not interested. I would say that anybody who knows the facts of this case would scratch their head and wonder what happened to us. And it's not an academic outcome. When we got a subpoena, I told my lawyers to tell the SEC, remove the subpoena, I'll meet with them, I'll answer all their questions, I'll toll any period of time they needed to meet a toll. And they refused. We took the high road, basically, and informed our investors immediately over the subpoena, and we got about $4 billion of institutional money pull out. Now, reasonable assumptions would say that $4 billion is worth about $140 million a year that the team lost in the way of opportunity. Okay, my lawyers tell them, you're really ruining Mr. Cooperman's business. I don't know if I could say they did tell me for no reason. Okay, and basically they said, well, if Mr. Cooperman wants to settle, we'll take a 5-year bar from the industry, admission of guilt, and a $10 million fine. I told my lawyers to tell them I grew up in South Bronx, and they can give them the Rockefeller salute. I don't know if people are too young to know.
I think we can figure out some semblance of what that is.
Nelson Rockefeller appeared before the Attica prisoners, and they started to shoot him down. He gave him the salute. Okay, and this is what it just depresses me and bothers me. 6 months later, with no new information to my knowledge, after they really substantially damaged the business, they come back and say, okay, no admit, no deny, no timeout, and give us $4.9 million. Now, if they asked me for that originally, I would have given it to them to get rid of him. Okay, but what they asked for originally basically pushed the business towards, you know, a very, very negative outcome, and you know, it's just wrong. You know, I've written 2 letters to the Jay Clayton, had respectful letters, asking what did you learn between your first ask and your second ask, okay? Because the first ask ruined the business, and then when you lose $140 million of revenue in a business, it's a lot of money. And no responses. Now, I'll give you a little anecdote, a true story. About 2 months ago, I went to a seminar sponsored by a major accounting firm, one of the largest in the country. And I went because Mary Jo White was the guest speaker. And she was the head of the SEC when the case was brought. And I walk over to her, I introduced myself, and I said, look, if I had to say that, this is what I said to have a witness to the conversation. I'm too much of a gentleman to, you know, take you on publicly, but here's a sealed envelope. And in the envelope was a question. If you answer the question, I'll give $100,000 to your favorite charity. Her response was, gee, I can't wait. What's the question? So I said, what did you learn between your first ask, which I rejected, and your second ask, which I would have accepted if it was the first ask? And her response was, innocent people, now I don't want to put words in her mouth. She didn't say I was innocent. She said, innocent people often settle because the litigation costs and time demands are so much greater than the settlement costs. And that's just morally wrong.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.